In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. I am on location in the Great Plains of Saskatchewan, where the wind is howling and the sun is out and the geese are flying. But today we're talking AI, and we're going to dig into some ideas around what it actually looks like to do some implementations, and the part about how in the process you go and find tools and you find solutions and you deploy them for your company or for your clients, and then it takes some time for everything to settle out, and then you go and find the next round of new innovations. And my guest today is Thad Barnes, who's back with us again. I think this third episode, and he is a seasoned marketing professional specializing in data-driven strategies that elevate brand visibility and drive lead generation. He has extensive experience in integrated communication, and Thad has also successfully navigated the complexities of the digital landscape and is passionate about leveraging AI to enhance marketing efforts for his agency and for his clients. And welcome back to the show, Thad.
Great to be here, Emmanuel, and I wish I was with you up there in Saskatchewan. Looks beautiful.
All right, well, let's get it on the books for next year. All right, good. So, talk to me a little bit about what some of the wins have been for you recently on AI, either for yourself or for your clients.
Yeah, and we've been doing a lot of things around AI with SMS and having conversations, and mostly for reactivation, right? So people have a lot of leads or past clients that are no longer with them. Maybe it's been 90 days, maybe it's been a year or two. But utilizing AI in those kinds of ways to help reactivate those, get them back into the fold, bring people back in, because we know that SMS is highly effective. So, finding ways to leverage AI for that, I think just makes sense.
And so, what part is the AI playing in that? Is it in the copy development or the outreach, the messaging back and forth? Where are you using it?
Yeah, really a lot of all of that really. So like a lot of AI, you have to give it context. So we give the AI a lot of context about the business or the client, but then the AI not only helps us develop the if you want to call it a script, but don't think of AI bots in SMS like a traditional, ask this question, get this answer. It's very conversational. So the AI does help us develop that actual conversation structure, but it's really, how it can have a conversation with somebody and feel very natural, very text natural.
So you're able to leverage kind of the dynamic nature of the AI in the messaging back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Based on again on the context you give it, and we're finding that's the biggest key, right, with AI, probably in general across the board, is that context is so important, and not only discussing what it is the client does or what it is the value that we're trying you know project to the prospect, but also why are we projecting this value, right? That's a huge part of context that I think people miss. And in conversation it seems very natural. When you and I talk, we give context, but people don't think of AI that way, and I think that's important, and so we use it extensively for that purpose.
So then you have some essentially a custom GPT that you're focused the outbound AI agent to reference in order to have these conversations.
Yeah, exactly. And I could give you an example. If you're trying, and again, I really want to drive home the point of context because I think it's missing for a lot of people. Um, is for example, if we were going to work with like you know, a garage door company, let's just say, and we were going to do a reactivation campaign or any kind of AI campaign, really, we would say we're looking for people that are needing a new garage door, right? That seems very static, very easy. Okay, you need a new garage door. We sell garage doors. Great. But a key component is, why do you need a garage door? Why would you need a new one? Well, maybe you're selling your house and you want to increase curb appeal. Maybe somebody backed, one of the kids backed the car in to the garage door and crunched it. So you need a new garage door because, it was destroyed. But giving that part of context helps the conversation along, so that if the person that's on the other end of the AI says, I need a new garage door because I want to increase curb appeal or because I'm going to sell my home, the AI can have a conversation about different types of garage doors rather than just a straight replacement because it was damaged.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting concept, and I think was working with a client, and we had FAQs. We built an FAQ list, right? And that same idea, and we had like 90 FAQs, frequently asked questions, and we're still adding to that. And so not only do you need that context for prompt writing or for custom GPT interfacing with the client, but you also need that on your website for the generative engine optimization, right? You have
Right.
any experience with generating some of that content?
A little bit. That's we don't fall into that kind of SEO, GEO space too much. But certainly for our own company, we talk to ChatGPT. We build custom GPTs around services. We build custom GPTs that our clients can use, so that we can not only have our own data, pushed into these GPTs, but clients asking questions kind of like what you're talking about when they ask our custom GPTs specific questions, or they give information that requires a response. We can add that to our kind of pool of knowledge, if you will. And it does give the AI a lot more information about what we do. So we're doing our own GEO without really being intent about it, without specifically trying to. But I think that the more you use it, sort of like use it or lose it, with everything.
Yeah, and I think the most fundamental activity you can do for the GEO is to go and ask ChatGPT, um, what you should be doing as a brand, putting in your website addresses, LinkedIn profile, your social profiles, and asking the engine itself what you should be doing in order to get some better answers when people are asking questions about products or services that you're using.
I think it's super important, and I'll give you another example. Just to test, I asked ChatGPT for a list of local roofing contractors in Reno, where I live. And not only did it give me a list of 5 contractors, what I found was that it made up 3 of them. They weren't even real companies. And so, because I thought, "Oh, that's interesting," I've searched Google for this information, and I get, a maps pack, and I see the top 3 or whatever, and I've looked at additional ones. So I went and searched out these companies. They're not even real companies. So GPT doesn't even have the information to provide a list of 5 companies for this in my area. So there's a wealth of opportunity there for me to go to companies and say, "You're not even ranked with ChatGPT. Let's change that."
I love it, and you could build a little vibe code app that could do that work for you, right? And do that research and send an email.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think the vibe coding is becoming, we've talked about it before, but it's becoming so prevalent now. We're seeing, Series A funding rounds for almost every app out there, almost every vibe coding app out there. The most recent one I just got this morning was from Emergent, which I use extensively. So, yeah, and I think that, you and I, or pretty much anybody, could build an app to do exactly what you're talking about, in a few days maximum.
And what is Emergent? What does Emergent do? What's unique about them?
Well, what I like about Emergent is that it's kind of an all-in-one platform. So, I don't have to use like something like Supabase if I don't want to. I don't have to go out and buy a domain and buy a hosting package separately. I can do it all in one. But more than anything, What I like about Emergent is that its ability to uh, test as we go and deep test. If I'm going to implement a new feature in my app, it will test along the way, take screenshots of tests, test for security, like SOC compliance or anything like that. And so it has built in a lot of features where I don't have to prompt it and ask it, okay, implement this new feature. And instead of it just saying, yep, I've implemented, everything's great, it actually runs through and tests it. Is this working? Is it working with CORS permissions? Is it working, with the database that we've built? Those kinds of things. I find it very functional in that way. And it tends to lower the hallucination effect when it's doing its own testing, rather than just assuming everything's working.
It sounds like the hallucination needs to be part of the prompt, though, right? At some point in the development process.
It really does. It does still hallucinate. I think that's just a fundamental of AI right now, not specific to Emergent or Lovable or any of the Base 44 or any of the vibe coding platforms. It is a problem with AI in general, and again, I think that context is important and prompting is important, but we're getting closer to that ability to just have normal conversation. I want this. And still in that conversation, the more you give it with detail and context, the better, but not having to be so specific about prompting that you need a prompting engineer to work with you.
I love it. Yeah. So, in your client meetings or prospect meetings, your conversation with humans, what are you noticing about the appetite for AI? Are people? Is there more reticence now after we've seen those studies that have come out that 95% of AI deployments are not profitable? Is it still the FOMO or the fear, or what are you seeing in the marketplace right now?
I still see a real appetite for implementation of AI, and quite frankly, most of the clients that I've talked to are not even aware of those studies that have come out saying 95% of AI implementations fail. Um, all they hear is that AI is here, and you need to use it or you'll be left behind. And so there's a massive appetite for it. I think what the fear is that I'm seeing in the marketplace is which one to go with, right? Because there's a new AI app that pops up doing XYZ thing every 5 seconds. And so the idea is, okay, we all know OpenAI and ChatGPT. We all, know Claude and Anthropic, and we know the big players, right? We know Gemini and things like that. But what apps are utilizing those as their back end, and which one do I go with? That's the real question. And having to have these discussions with clients and potential clients is really like I, I don't want to say frustrating. It's just that there's really no one specific answer, right? And so what we try and do is just talk with clients and say, look, here is the implementation. It doesn't matter what the back end is. If that changes, we'll change. But here's the implementation to solve your issue. And in this case, let's talk about SMS AI. um, I can use ChatGPT on the back end, and if that doesn't work, we can use Claude. Or if you want to use Gemini because you think it serves you better, we'll use Gemini. But this platform is really the solution. The AI itself can be changed.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen is that if you build in Gemini the gems, right, the custom GPTs for Gemini, the more direction you can give it, the more context, the better prompting, the more structure and guardrails that you can put into any one of those platforms, the better results you're going to get.
Yeah, and as we see with technology in general, the price is coming down for the base AI, right? Now the platforms are getting more expensive. They're charging more and more per credit, but they're also realizing that they can't just keep increasing the price, and so they're fractionalizing credits, which we see is a good thing. But the price for the AI back end is coming down with every release, and it's getting better. And so that's a big thing for clients too. Is they don't want to spend a ton of money just testing everything. They're fatigued with testing ads, for example, on Facebook. And so the idea that it's becoming more effective and cheaper really appeals to a lot of people.
Well, what do you see for Epic and for yourself in the coming quarter, and what's kind of next on the horizon for you?
Well, obviously, Black Friday is huge for a lot of our clients. So we're putting, there's a ton of energy. It starts in really in like June and July for the clients that are, understanding of what Black Friday is going to mean for them. So we're putting a lot of energy into that. But in terms of AI, there's a few platforms that I'm very excited about that are coming up in terms of ads using AI. And one of them I just had a conversation with last week, but essentially he's taken 20 years of Facebook marketing knowledge, 15 years, and pushed it into an AI, and it can create ads and do all kinds of things for you in minutes. And now they're implementing video and image creation into that. So it won't be long before his platform will just be an all in one stop shop and create amazing stuff. So I'm pushing more back into those kinds of things where we're utilizing AI for marketing in particular. I think that that type of platform will be helpful for creating GEO. So I see that, that's not where he's going with it, but I think a platform like that would be super helpful where, um, not only can you find who needs GEO, but also create it for them with a platform. And so I see myself gravitating towards that and looking more into either creating a platform like that or finding a platform that does it.
Can you tell us the name of the ads platform, or is it a secret?
No, it's not a secret. I just didn't know if you wanted me to drop that. Yeah, it's called Ad Signals. The guy's name is Depesh Mandalia. Um, I've known him since 2017, I think. So coming up on 10 years, and yeah, just a wealth of information. Super giving guy. There's a free trial for his platform, so I would absolutely look into it. And I think even the most expensive, and you get like something like 2 million credits or so with him, is like $97 a month. So it's unbelievably affordable.
Wow. Yeah, if you'll connect me to him, I'd love to have him on the show and talk about the platform and
Absolutely.
see if I can learn something from him as well. Also, I want to tell you, I'm putting together an AI innovators group that's going to be a mastermind for all of us who are doing deployments and vibe coding and that sort of thing. So I want to make sure I get it on a day and time that works for you, because I want to make sure you're on that too.
I appreciate that. I would love to be. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Anything you're doing, I want to be a part of, Emmanuel.
oh, Dad, I appreciate that. You're too sweet. I love the work that you're doing. I'm excited. We're working on getting one of my clients onto this SMS platform, and I'm excited to see how it works. Always like to see what you got for lead gen, because you always have innovative things. Um, Love to have you tell everybody how they get in touch with you if they want to have a conversation about marketing.
Yeah, well, you can reach out to me at epicdm.com. You can email me hello@epicdm.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn, at LinkedIn/Thad Barnes. And I'm pretty active almost everywhere except Facebook. So, uh, yeah, those are probably the best ways to get in touch with me. And yeah, let's chat about what you got going on in your business.
And talk a little bit about the podcast that you're doing.
Oh, Ready, Fire, Aim. Yeah. Well, you and I have an episode that's dropping shortly. Um, yeah, Ready, Fire, Aim is really about a lot of what we're talking about getting products and services out there before they're perfect, right? Because if you wait for perfect, that'll never happen. So the idea is that you want to launch and iterate quickly. So if you think about uh, your next service project coming up, don't wait until it's perfect. It will never be perfect. Get it out there, get feedback from those that are using it, and then serve their needs.
I like it, and I enjoyed being a guest on your podcast. And it's on all the platforms, right?
It's everywhere. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify, Apple. The only place we're not on, and I just realized this, is Google Podcast. So I need to get that taken care of.
All right. Well, let's see. I think YouTube and Spotify tend to be the biggest places where I get listens. So it's kind of interesting how it fragments, but yet there's still some consistency in where
Yeah.
people find it.
It's interesting too. I'm often surprised because we get in our own lane, right? We think about the way that we consume content, and I like to watch content. I'm a YouTube guy. But really, there's more people listening on Spotify than I imagined, and I wouldn't say more than on YouTube, but there's a lot more than I imagined, and on Spotify, it's just audio. There's no video with it, and so I'm surprised that it's getting traction there, really, and I think that's a lesson that we can all learn is that you gotta get out of your own tunnel vision on how you consume content and realize that there's, 300 million people in this country, and they consume content in a lot of different ways than I do.
Yeah, I think that's a great marketing reminder is that you are just one example of what happens, and that you've got to let the marketplace determine how you deliver content to your ICP based on how you do it.
Yeah, I think that's, a fundamental part of marketing and advertising that we often forget as just business owners, not, and as marketers, we understand it, but as a business owner, you have to let the market tell you. And if you're finding that a certain group of people consume your products or services in a certain way, do more of that. Even if it's not what you think is best, your clients will tell you, your market will tell you what you need to do.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Thad. I know you got a million things on your list, and I always appreciate talking to you. And thanks for spending time with me today.
Oh, Emmanuel, it's great to see you again, my friend. As always, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll see you soon. Well, some good comments from Thad Barnes, and his Ready Fire Aim pod is a great concept for all of us to remember, which is have an idea, build a product, get it out there as a first viable activity, and then innovate it based on market feedback. I hope that you found value in the episode today. I also hope that you take some time to find an AI tool or two and test it and find a way to get some time back for yourself. And with that time, you continue to upskill, that you spend it with your friends and family, and that you get outside in nature and get away from the screens. It's Emmanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.